Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's practice recap day. This video is coming out on Friday, and we are out fishing, or have been out fishing. But I'm going to give you my practice recap, and then we'll come back next week and do the tournament recap. But check this out. I want you to see. I need to know this. To me, that's a pretty big crappie right there. That's one of the only fish that I actually caught. I made a commitment to not catch fish during practice, but anytime that I was scoping, I had a hook on. There was no reason not to catch those scoping fish. So this one I caught, man, those are giant crappie, and I caught a couple that were that size. But let's get into the recap when we come back. Welcome back to Mark Fisher Outdoors, everybody. I'm Mark Fisher. So, practice recap here on Hartwell. Day number 1, miserable conditions. Pouring rain, freezing cold, 40s, low 40s. I was out for probably 3/4 of the day, and just had to call it quits. Wasn't getting a whole lot done. Had it in my head that, I'm going to be fishing docks and things like that, and this isn't working, and that was probably my mistake. Although one thing I did do right at the end was start working points, and sure enough, if I didn't start catching some fish on points. So day 2 comes, and finally the sun and the warmer weather starts to come. The last couple of days of practice have been in the upper 70s, bluer skies. We're looking today, it's darn near 80 degrees on our day off, hazy. I told Megan, I can feel the fish moving shallow. This is a tournament, guys, where I think that the conditions on tournament day are going to actually be very different than they were during practice. These fish, if you were fishing something and there weren't very many fish on a pier or in an area, I think they're just going to be coming more and more. Let's get into the details. I've got 3 things going on. If you're working in a spawning pocket, for example, what I've found, and this is pretty much textbook kind of stuff, the piers and points on the outside of the pocket, bigger fish are there. You go all the way to the back, 1/3 of the pocket, and the smaller fish are there. It feels like the smaller males have moved back into the pockets, and the bigger females are back, still haven't come out and again, this is during practice. The other thing that I got going is those points and saddles and kind of shoals and things like that. So my plan is work those saddles and shoals and points in the morning, and tomorrow we're supposed to get some overcast skies, so I'm going to do that, and we'll see. I mean, if it's working, that's probably what I'm going to do. But if I got a limit and it's solid but it's not great, then I'm going to go work some docks that had some bigger bites. And again, I don't know the size of the fish, but I was throwing a Cinco on an O-ring, and I had one that just wouldn't let go. I pretty much reeled him almost to the trolling motor before he finally let go of that bait, and it was definitely a 4+ pound fish. And I had 2 or 3 other areas where that's happening. The other thing that's interesting is you can see these certain docks that are just loaded with bass underneath them. I mean, whether you can see them through the water or you can see them on scope and just see that they're underneath there, but boy, they're finicky. They aren't just, you can't just skip a bait underneath there and have them eat it. There's a lot of fish underneath them, but they don't, just go crazy biting. At least they didn't during practice. So we'll see what happens during the tournament. Think it's going to take 14 pounds to make a check, 14 a day to make a check. So, we're going to need to get some solid keepers and then, have a kicker or two to get to that 14 plus pounds. So that's my practice recap. We'll kind of see how things go. I got a long day tomorrow. I'm fishing till 4:15, so we'll see how it goes. Guys, we appreciate you tuning in, and we will see you again on Monday for another episode of Mark Fisher Outdoors. Take care, everybody.